Hello my friends, my name is Bethel and welcome to my YouTube channel, HPGirl0609, hoping to help you find encouragement, inspiration, and a little entertainment in Jesus' name. Today on Mission Modesty, we are going to talk about how modesty is an attitude as much as an action, and we are going to go through 1 Peter 3:3-4 to find out what it tells us about how to find this attitude the right way. One of the problems I see with the way that modesty is addressed in the church today is that it is almost solely focused on the way that we dress. Sometimes we struggle with making it all about how we dress and not about the heart issue at hand. But the truth of the matter is that attitude is everything when it comes to modesty. Did you know that you can often tell a person's heart condition based on the way that they're dressed? Most of us don't think about it that way, but it's true. The way that you are dressed reflects the condition of your heart. When I see a young woman that's dressed immodestly, one of the things that is communicated to me is that she has a bad attitude because her heart's in the wrong place. Whether it be selfishness or pride or anger or some other personal issue, there is something wrong with the condition of her heart. You can absolutely tell that based on the way that she's dressed. What makes this interesting is that there actually can be moments when a woman may be totally inappropriately covered, but she's actually being immodest by her attitude because she still has this unhealthy desire for attention. Either way, the way that you present yourself on the outside will reflect where your heart is on the inside. Since this is a struggle for so many women, how can we find the way to find the right attitude when it comes to making wardrobe choices? Well, fortunately, there is actually a passage in the Bible that tells us how to do this. Today we are going to walk through 1 Peter 3:3-4 to find out that it tells us that it's what's on the inside that counts. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry or the clothes you wear. But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. I think this passage reveals 3 things that we must learn. Number 1, don't focus on the outside. As I mentioned in our last episode, the hairdos, the jewelry, and the fancy robes were methods that the women of the New Testament church used to display their wealth or their social status. Like I said last time, that doesn't mean that we can't wear these things ever again. If that was the case, I would probably be doing this episode wearing my sweatpants and not having brushed my hair. But like I said in the last episode, we are allowed to adorn ourselves. We just have to learn how to do it appropriately. What's interesting though is that the word for adorn in this passage is actually a different Greek word than the one that we discussed in the 1 Timothy passage. The word used for adorn in this passage is the Greek word cosmos. Our world and the person that we are should not be defined by our clothing or our hairstyles or our jewelry and accessories. In the end, all of that stuff is superficial and will not bring us value or satisfaction. We talked about in the 1 Timothy passage how we should adorn ourselves, but we should do it in a way that is appropriate, self-controlled, and in a way that ultimately brings honor back to the Lord. However, when we concentrate only on the external part, we completely miss the point. If this is a struggle for you, I want to remind you of the passage where Jesus was talking to the Pharisees in Matthew 23. They were struggling with focusing only on what they did and dressed on the outside, and not focusing on their attitude or their heart condition. Jesus told them in verse 26, "First clean the outside of the cup and the plate, and that the outside may also be clean." Number 2, focus on the inside. Instead of focusing on the outside, our world and the person that we are should be defined by who we are on the inside, our inner qualities. The ESV translates this idea of inner self as the hidden person of the heart. And I just love that wording, don't you? I just find that to be so beautiful. I think that what this means is that these qualities of inner beauty are inside of each and every woman that has ever lived. However, there are times when we choose to ignore these qualities and do things our own way instead. we must do our best to remember that even when it is hard to have this kind of attitude all the time, God has given us the ability to do it. I think this is what God was referring to when he spoke to Samuel in 1 Samuel chapter 16. When Samuel wanted to anoint David's oldest brother based on his appearance, God corrected him. God said to him, "Do not look on his appearance or the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." In the grand scheme of things, God doesn't really care about the way we present ourselves on the outside. What he cares about the most is where your heart is. If your heart is in the right place, that will always make you beautiful to God, no matter what the rest of the world says. I will get back to the unfading beauty part in a second, but for now I want to take a little bit of time concentrating on the way that inner beauty is described: a gentle and quiet spirit. First, it tells us that we must have a gentle spirit. Some of the other words used for gentle might be mild, meek, or humble. I don't want to get too caught up in definitions here, but I think part of what is included in a gentle spirit is patience, kindness, and the ability to honor the Lord and honor others above yourself. Secondly, here, we are told that we should have a quiet spirit. This word in the Greek simply means still or peaceful. To help you understand, let me ask you another question. Do you guys know what the opposite of quiet is? Loud. Loud. When we are loud, we are drawing attention to ourselves and not to God. In a culture that values women that are able to speak their mind and express their opinions whenever and however they want, we need to learn the art of discerning when we do need to just keep our mouths shut, so that we will be better heard when we do speak, and that we will reflect a heart that desires to honor the Lord. Finding a gentle and quiet spirit is not easy in today's culture. In this day and age, we are surrounded by women who have attitudes and egos the size of the Statue of Liberty. They are living for themselves and not taking into consideration how they can honor God or others with their lives. But as I said earlier, I believe that each and every woman that has ever lived has the ability to find a gentle and quiet spirit. It's their choice whether to cultivate that spirit or choose to reject it. As Christian women that desire to honor the Lord with our lives, we must choose to find and cultivate a spirit that is gentle and quiet. The beauty in this quietness and gentility won't go away. The word unfading here can be translated as immortal. Unlike the beauty methods of our world today that can only make us beautiful for up to a day at a time, the beauty of this spirit, should we choose to cultivate it, will never fade away. It will last with us into eternity. And since I hope to spend my eternity praising and honoring the Lord, I want to spend time cultivating this spirit now. And I hope you do too. And number 3, focus on your worth. The last thing I want to point out from this passage is that we are not only supposed to adorn ourselves with this kind of spirit, but we also need to learn how to adorn ourselves in the love and value God has for us. The NIV says that having this kind of spirit is of great worth in God's sight. The ESV says it is precious in God's sight. The word that is used here in the Greek could also be translated as valuable. God gave us the ability to cultivate and pursue this kind of spirit in our lives because we are valuable and precious in His sight. To conclude this message, I want to share a short message that helped change my view of my value. It's called Who You Are, a message to all women. The original version of this video changed my life in so many ways that I hope to share about more in the future. But for now, I want to share a video that I personally recorded of the original artist John Jorgensen performing this piece live at my church. I am sharing this version with you because I legally own the recording, but I will make sure to link up the original video at the end of the video and in the description. But this version will show you the heart of the message.
You are beautiful. You are smart. You are funny. You are kind. You are unique. You are worthy of love and affection. You are never too much, and you are always enough. You are precious. You are a diamond, a rose, a pearl, the most stunning of all God's creations. You are worth more than you could ever imagine. Worth more than the numbers on the scale, or the hair product you use, or the shoes you wear. More than how many girls wish they were you, or how many guys wish they had you. More than the price tags on your clothes, or the percentage at the top of your math test, or even the number of followers you have on Twitter. Your worth surpasses all earthly things, because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved. And you are worth dying for. Regardless of who you think you are. Whether you model in a magazine, or you model pottery with grandma, whether you're on the hot list or the not list, whether you're a head cheerleader or a high school dropout, whether you're Miss Popular or you never had anyone that you could call a friend. Whether you love yourself and love your life, or you can't stand to look in the mirror and you feel as if everything in your life is falling apart. Whether you feel like such a winner or you feel like the world's biggest failure, regardless of who you may think you are, the reality is that you deserve someone who would give up their life for you, because you too are powerful and strong and capable. Read about the women in the Bible. Esther, Ruth, Martha, Mary. These women changed the world forever, and inside of you, each and every one of you is a woman with that same power and that same strength and that same world-changing capability. And your responsibility is to find that woman and to set that woman free. This is who you are. And any voices in your head that try and tell you differently are from the enemy. And the next time you hear them, this is what you say. You say, nuh-uh. Not me, Satan. I am a daughter of the living God, cherished, loved, and adored above all things by the Creator of all things, for the glory of Him who is greater than all things. I am awesome. And please, don't you forget.
I hope that each and every one of you watching learn to believe this to be true. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody that could use its message. If you want to see more videos like it, please make sure to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to check out some of my past videos. Have a great day, and God bless.